Okay, hello everyone and welcome to Anime-chan. Today I'm going to be reviewing Jujutsu Kaisen episode 13 tomorrow. So I just watched the very last episode of Jujutsu Kaisen until the 15th of January. People already told me today that the next episode will take 2 or 3 weeks, I think, before it comes out, and I think that's a very good thing. It will give us time to digest, the first course, and hopefully the people working on the anime will get some time to relax and prep for the next course. Turn off chat. No, not for the review. For the review, I have the chat on because I like it being... What's that word for back and forth? I don't know. But if you want to see my reaction and you're watching this on YouTube, it does get posted on my Patreon, and you can also be a Twitch sub or a YouTube member to get access to my full reactions doc. Okay? Interactive, yes. Interactive. I like it when my reviews are interactive. It's more fun when I'm discussing it with anime only viewers. A little bit more difficult when I'm watching it with people who are caught up on the manga, because it happens often where their opinion on manga events in the future often influences their opinion on things we see right now, so that can sometimes be a bit difficult. But so far with Jujutsu Kaisen, I don't feel like the experience has been negative. Manga readers are pretty calm for the most part. I wanted to say last week, I don't know if this was a manga reader, I don't know who this was. One person got seriously offended by the fact that some of us thought that there might be a small chance that Junpei might not be dead. Most of us just wanted confirmation. We wanted this kind of episode to just really show us, okay, he's dead. I think last week I said there's an 85% chance that he's dead. And 85% is huge. There's a 15% chance he might still... And I'm not gonna say it's 100% dead until I see the anime confirm it. And in this episode I felt like, with that small scene where it just showed that Junpei in his, demon form, corrupted form, it showed him lying there not moving an inch. That was the confirmation for me. Before then, it was pretty confirmed, but there's always that little chance. And until the anime, this is no, they're dead. And even then, sometimes shows can turn around, but I don't think that will be the case here. How dare you, a reviewer, discuss possibilities? I hope it keeps that good feeling of people dying or not and doesn't turn into fairy tale. Well, fairy tale is a completely different, well, not completely different, but it is a show with a completely different vibe. I agree that towards the very end, fairy tale took it too far. But for the most part, that in Fairy Tail didn't bother me because it wasn't that kind of show. It didn't have that kind of serious edge like this one has. Fairy Tail is quite different. So I don't think it'll change, because I don't think Fairy Tail changed. It always was that way. In the very end, they just amped it up a bit. It was a lot of the same thing. And it was always going to be that kind of show. Whereas this, I don't really compare it to a show like Fairy Tail, because that's the best way I think I can describe it is I see that as a shonen, like a shonen with fan service and comedy and some slight serious moments, but that is Fairy Tail, my feel to it. This, I know it's probably shonen, I haven't checked, but it leans towards seinen. It's more of a serious storyline. So yeah, I've never once thought that, I don't really ever I've never made the connection between the two. or thought about the one while thinking about the other. Okay, so I just wanted to say that the person who was offended about the whole discussing whether there's a small chance that Junpei might be alive, I think if you're that invested in a show, you're not going to be fun to talk to. Like, you can feel however you want, your feelings are valid, but your comments are not going to be allowed on my channel if you're going to get that worked up and totally disrespectful and rude about it. Okay, he is dead, so I'm sure you're very happy that we've all been shown that 10% chance that he might be alive is not real. He's dead. Okay, it's sad, but I think it shows a lot, or it's going to make a marked difference in Yuji's life and approach to life and death. So it was a very necessary death. It's not death for the sake of just killing off a character. It felt like necessary for the story. Sometimes, you know, people just die and nothing comes of it. So it's not like it would have been bad if he doesn't grow because of that moment, or it never gets referenced again. I just think that it's a huge thing. It's going to be make it a big difference in Yuji's life. The fact that he was faced with such a personal loss. I mean, his grandfather also died. It's not like he's never experienced it, but I think it's not, you never get used to something like that happening, right? Got scammed by the opening. Actually, I don't think the hint was there with that little zzz at the end. The hint was always there, but they did it very subtly. So, what do I want to start with discussing? Can't kill humans. So, it was technically confirmed in this episode that he did kill those misformities that Mahito sicked on him. Like, the 3 monstery things, go get him. And then it's confirmed that he did kill them, right? Sick him. Yeah, he did that. Mahito. I'm just waiting for the answer because I don't want to discuss the rest of what I have to say until I know. For those of you that are watching this back on YouTube, my review, and you can't see my reaction maybe, I thought for sure, I had a theory around some point that Nanami was gonna die. I was like, this is the end for Nanami. Get ready, heart, because he did. I'm so glad he didn't die. Oh my goodness. But I get now, this was kind of like a season finale. There is a second course coming soon, but this almost was, they wouldn't have done something that big, I feel like, right at the very end of the season and then taken a break. Those transfigured humans were the ones shown in the after credits scene last week. I think the difference with Yuji grandpa's dying is that Yuji didn't kill him, which I think that is Yuji's issue. That's not really what I meant. Obviously, losing someone is going to be different. Like I said, you don't get used to it. It's not easier once it happens again. But I think death will affect you whether or not, yes, you kill the person or not. And that's why I was asking about him. Because he didn't kill Junpei, right? How did he die? It was Mahito, right? So that's why I wanted to confirm that those 3 humans, he actually had to kill them. And I asked when Mahito at, I don't know, it was 312 or somewhere, Mahito said that he's an idiot child who won't, let me just get it, 312-ish, maybe around there. Yeah, around here. He died from being transfigured too roughly. Oh, so it was Mahito, basically, for doing it too roughly. Or, to be honest, it's Mahito's fault for changing him in the first place because they can't be changed back. So, either way, he would have died. It's not like you can keep him as a pet. Yuji's grandpa died naturally, which Yuji thought was proper. Did he though? I would have to rewatch the first episode. I'm not saying that he didn't think that. I just don't remember him feeling like, because he died alone, surrounded by no one, and I don't know if he really thought of that as a proper death. But I would have to rewatch it so that I can remember the scene better before I talk about it. But I don't know if personally I don't remember him saying, "Oh, that was a proper death, dying alone." I forgot. Well, he wasn't alone. He had Yuji, so he's right in the middle of making that reconciliation. So around this part, when he said about, come on. Oh, you can't see. You can see there in his eyes the determination. I love, his eyes open for a moment. He compares his grandpa's death to his friend's dying. He says he didn't feel their deaths would be proper, so he had to step in. So more like a death, like a natural death. Thomir says, I thought the entire thing was that his death wasn't proper since he was alone, except Yuji. Yeah, I think it wasn't, I didn't get the idea that his grandfather's death was proper. It's just that what his grandfather told him made him want to live the kind of life where when he died, he'd have no regrets. I think his grandfather had regrets. Like I said, this was 13 weeks ago, so I might be wrong, but I don't think his grandfather's death was set up to be, oh, this is the proper death. This is the death you should strive for. I think that's kind of the opposite, and it was his grandfather's words to him that made him, for example, say about he didn't feel like his friend's death would be proper, so he had to step in, like you said that. The facial animations were very good this ep. Yes. There's some parts of the animation that felt like a little bit interesting to me. I'm not going to say bad or anything. It was just like, oh, that looks interesting. Some of it was a little bit light. I don't know, it looked different. But the expressions and the powers and everything looked really great. So he said, I wonder if he'll cry then. He's a foolish brat who can't reconcile reality and his ideals. And he said something about can't kill humans. And I was like, I paused the episode at that point and I said, can't kill humans? Or does he just have a problem with killing innocent people? Like, these people have nothing to do with it. What if the person he needs to kill is someone who did something like, in this case. Firstly, in this case, they didn't have a choice, so technically they were innocent, but they weren't going to be able to turn back. So what was he going to do? Like that, and that's why he said blah, 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 blah. He's right in the middle of making that reconciliation. I feel like Yuji isn't stupid. He doesn't like, oh, we have to keep everyone alive because it's too cruel to kill, blah, 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 blah. Like, yes, it sucks to have to make that choice. But I think, like, what we've seen from his character up to now, he's not the kind of person that, no, I can't kill them. He can take the responsibility. He can understand at least somewhat. Yes, it's going to eat him up for a while. It's not going to be easy. And if it were easy, I'd be worried. If it were easy to kill people, even if they're bad people, even if they're monsters and they don't have a choice and they can't turn back, even if it was easy, I mean, even if he had to kill them and it was easy for him, that would worry me. But I knew that he'd be the kind of person that when it comes down to it, you can't just cry, oh, but this, oh, but that. Because he's right in the middle of making that reconciliation. So that whole thing, that reconciliation, I think it's been an interesting journey, and the hints towards his growth has been subtle, but it's been definite or more solidly shown in this episode. I think before his doubts this episode, his idea of a proper death was just a peaceful death. So his grandpa's death would count in that. So any forceful or unnatural death is not proper. I definitely had a different understanding about that, like what his grandfather told him and his grandfather's words to him and his influence in his action because of his grandfather's words and his grandfather's own feelings about his death. But I mean, I've already explained that, so. Yuji didn't kill them. I believe it was Mahito who did that. And I think Yuji knew that deep down, which made him in the end able to. But it's just my interpretation. Yeah, I agree. I think like he's smart enough to know what needs to be done and what is better in the situation. Because what's the alternative? They are monsters and they hurt other people. Innocent people. Like, as in, if I were, and this is just me, but if I were turned into a monster with no hope of being turned back, in fact, if I were turned into a monster, and maybe in 10 years' time, they might find a cure, but there's a danger of me, like, hurting and killing other people, or doing something worse, I would rather, like, just kill me now. I don't want to cause the deaths of other people in hopes of that my life might one day be saved. Personally, I don't think that that's right. Like, let's sacrifice other people's lives because my life might be saved. I personally wouldn't choose that. And I think, and this is based on my definition of a good person. I think most good people, I do this because I don't want you to feel like a bad person if you wouldn't, but I just, in my concept of an ideal good person, they wouldn't want someone else to die for their lives to be saved. You know what I'm saying? So I think Yuji understood that on some level, and maybe those people would have felt the same. And yeah, he had a choice to make, and he made that choice. And I like that the show didn't. They very strongly showed him getting that determination and doing what needed to be done to save Nanami's life, but they didn't make it a whole thing. You know, they left it kind of there for people to see, people to talk about, but they didn't shove this idea down your throat, right? Like, this is the choice he should have made. This is the best choice in the situation. So, for me, I think they were already dead when they got turned into a monster, and I wouldn't want someone else to die to save my life, so I wouldn't want to be killed if I got turned. Well, I wouldn't consider them dead because we saw the one cry, so there was some form of consciousness still left there. So I personally didn't see them as dead, but I get what you're saying. If you can't be turned back, you might as well be dead. But they're still in pain. So even, like, I'm sure being transformed like that can't be nice. Like, it doesn't feel good. Your body isn't meant to be in that form because it's not if your body is your soul's shape or something, then being forcibly transformed, that can only be painful to your own soul. So I think it's a kindness to kill those, to euthanize those people, if that's the right word to use. When he was talking to Junpei, didn't he say he wouldn't want to kill bad Jujutsu sorcerers? Yeah, he said that he doesn't want to do it, and he wouldn't know how he would deal with that himself afterwards. Like, how would he feel? But that's something you say when you have never been forced into a situation where you have to make that choice. But at this point, he had to make that choice on some level. These weren't bad Jujutsu sorcerers. These were literally people that were turned and couldn't turn back. And I think that it's just showing that kind of, this is only the beginning. Eventually, maybe he'll have to fight someone who, like a bad Jujutsu sorcerer, who, because let's be honest, killing a monster, a person who is forced to turn into a monster who we know can't turn back, and it's literally hurting their souls. Killing that person is 98% of people, made up statistic, would say that is a kindness. But it gets a lot more difficult when, okay, so this sorcerer, bad Jujutsu sorcerer, he's killed 100 people, and he doesn't just kill them, actually, he eats them alive, okay? But when he was younger, then you get his whole backstory, and in actual fact, he was tortured and he was made to do these things, and then his mind snapped, and there's a chance to maybe save this person's mind, and we learn about them and we feel sorry for them. that 98% of people who would say it's better to kill those little monsters who can't turn back, that 98% number drops to like a lot less. Would you kill the sorcerer with this bad sorcerer who did these bad things, but actually they have a very sad backstory and blah, 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 blah. Then that number drops. So now this is an easy decision to make almost. It shouldn't be an easy decision to make because it's still someone's life. You know, it's not easy to just decide for yourself, I need to kill this person. But technically, obviously we've said now, he didn't kill them because Mahito was the one who turned them. But what about in the future, maybe this is a possibility, it's not some innocent person who was forced to become a monster, quite literally. What if it's a bad Jujutsu sorcerer who killed 100 people but has a really, 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 really sad backstory and good reasons to have done all those bad things? What do we think then? I don't know. It feels like this might be prepping us for a situation like that in the future. So, I agree. Wait, that's too Vasilisk. Yuji gave them mercy as opposed to Mahito just using them as tools. Okay, you guys are laughing at me. Why are you laughing? I'm not saying anything funny. Nothing funny. I don't have a hidden agenda about something I really want to talk about, but I won't because it's not relevant. 446, I want to screenshot. So let me just do that really quick. 446. Actually there. This was such a nice visual, but goodness, I don't even want to share his freaking face, but he didn't die. He's actually a very good villain, and I'm still sad that he is not the top villain of 2020. To be honest. You got a red eyes? Disappearing in 25 minutes? Someone send me an... I need a red eyes. Please, someone send me... Is anyone near a raid right now? Or not? Because I need to fight in a raid for Pokemon Go. I agree, he never questioned himself. Oh, that's still to Vasilisk. I keep reading messages to someone else and then I'm like, not relevant to me and my conversation right now. Okay, next up, 1320. 1320. Oh, what was this? Like, okay, I'm gonna choose one person to answer this question for me. Okay. I know, Michael, you read the manga, right? So, here's something I like, whether you die, wait, 1320. Whether you die or you die doesn't matter. Aside from him, and then it's a picture of Megumi. Aside from him, I truly don't care. What am I forgetting? I noticed the CG the first time. I didn't like it. Do you mean with this episode? Because there was a little CGI with Mahito, but it wasn't that bad. I just noticed that when I rewatched. I feel like I noticed that, and that's what I meant with some of the visuals look interesting to me. I didn't want to call it bad because I don't think it was bad. It was just different, and I liked the expressions and the other visuals more. Here's the thing about having an evil person with a sad backstory. It won't really matter whether or not I feel sorry for them. They still need to pay for the consequences of their actions, which very likely won't be pretty, and in that aspect, I won't feel sorry for them. I relate to that. I agree with that. The worst part is like... Wait. Let's just leave it at I agree with that for now. I noticed this. Fuck this guy. Sukuna is a very good bad guy. He is just a moron. Okay. I think Sukuna just cares about being the one to kill play with Megumi. He showed interest in Megumi during their fight. We still don't know the reason yet. Probably some hidden potential in him. Okay. I'm talking anime only here, not manga. Thank you, Michael, and that's why I asked you to answer that question. So with regards to, aside from Megumi, I just wanted to be sure. He's showing some special interest in Megumi, and that's unexpected. Like, okay. Megumi potential? Question mark? Good bad guy, LeMayo. Anyway, what is a proper death? So that's just kind of like, I think it's going to be a recurring question. What would you guys consider a proper death? How would you want to die? Or I think there obviously can be various proper deaths. There's not just one answer. For each person, there will be multiple answers. Like, it's a difficult question. A death without regrets or pain. So without emotional or physical, too much at least, physical pain. Like, what do you call it? In Afrikaans, it's called lyding. Let me just see what's the word in English. Suffering. A death without physical suffering. Like, pain might be there, but like a lot of suffering is different. Like, really suffering from the pain. I feel like there's a difference there. Feeling pain is one thing, but suffering is something else. At least that's how I understand it. So yeah, a death. I mean, I don't know. Proper death is difficult for me to define. What is proper? I don't know. But a nice death would be a death where I don't suffer and I have no regrets. That would be a nice death. So if by proper you mean nice, then yes. Suffering is not ideal. Yeah, torture. I feel like that's actually a huge theme right there. Or it can touch on so many different things, but I won't bring them up now. It's a question that really relates to ethics too. For example, euthanasia. People, what about suicide? Animals eating animals, you know, people eating animals, lions eating animals, eating deer, I don't know. Like, there's a lot of topics here that it can bring to light and we can talk about, but I don't want to just talk about things randomly unless the show more explicitly addresses it. Dying in my sleep would be a painless way to go, I imagine. I don't mind how I will die. Mostly I want to have zero regrets when that happens. Like that story, isn't it like that story you sent me? It makes me think of that story. A good death will be doing something crazy and go out happy, lol. As long as it's painless. Oh yeah, Michael said the same thing. As long as it's painless, I'm kind of fine. I personally, painless is a weird word to me because as a girl, I want to die like Tyrion Lannister on the toilet. As a girl, we cannot live painless lives. Once a month, we must go through pain. And therefore, I feel like a painless death is a bit of a tall order. Pain is going to be there. Pain is a constant. I just don't want to suffer. I think that's a better way to put that, in my opinion. I don't want to suffer. And yeah, having no regrets would be nice. No, that's not what I said. I like that the principal said that no Jujutsu sorcerer dies without regrets, and Nanami, like the Chad he is, says he has no regrets. He did. Luckily, he didn't die, though. I'm so glad. That whole scene was very beautifully done, though. Learning a little bit about his past and what made him decide to become a Jujutsu sorcerer. And he truly was ready to die in that moment. But then he was saved. And it was so... That was subverting expectations done so good. So good. I can send the raid invite, but don't want to interrupt the recording. No, it's fine. What I'm gonna do is it'll take 3 minutes, and I'll just like bah, 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 bah. It's fine, and I'll read other people's opinions on like we can start with the score, and then so please send the invite. Let me just double check if I have a. This is Pokemon Go. This is important. I do have 1 remote raid pass, so please send the invite if there's enough people to fight. And then we can start talking about the scores. I just have to click. I would like to die as cryptic as possible. Make it hard to piece together what happened to me. Oh God, that is a recipe for disaster. Ask Hanku, he didn't see on Discord. I'll ask Franco as well. Did Franco see? Okay, sorry guys. I'm sorry that I'm interrupting Jujutsu Kaisen for Pogo. Franco? Can you help Pokemon Go raiding? In Franco? Red Giants. Okay, so yay. Okay. Ow! Okay, yes to Hanku, no to Franco, and it is freaking hot outside. Subverting expectations. Feels good, man. Okay, so what would you guys score the episode total, if you'd like? I'm going to score it per thingy, and then we could work out my average score, and then I will say what is my overall score, because average score and overall score is different. Oh, I already worked out an average score, so now I just need to add one more thing to that. Okay. Lost in paradise. Dun, 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 dun. I am hungry. Okay, Matty is inviting now. Bye, Itsame. We have an 8.5 out of 10. 8.5 from Mike. 8.5 from Hunter. 8 from Sotos because of the best diva in anime. Diva? 8.9 from Vasilij. It would be an 8.9 for me if not Sukuna said aside from him Megumi. That made me very hyped. With that, it is a 9. Oh. Okay, so it would have been an 8.9. But the Sukuna talking about Megumi part made it a 9 because it increased the hype. Cool. 9 out of 10. Animation style change quite a bit at moments in the anime, but it was still very good overall. The OST was especially amazing, and the facial expressions and the backstory too. I think the backstory was woven into it really well. Like, it didn't feel disruptive. It was kind of perfectly woven into the action surrounding it. So yeah. 8.9 from JSD, 9 for Jazzy, 9.5 from Elizabeth. Sukuna equals diva. Colvin gives it an 8.8, 9.5 from Andes. Personally, I loved Nanami's backstory. I hate scoring per episode. Too much thinking for me. But right now I have the anime rated a 9.5 overall. Amazing first course. Okay, that is also an important thing that we're probably going to talk about just after I score this episode. What would you rate the season as a whole up to now? The first course. That's another question. But let me first just give out my... Okay, let's begin with visuals, because I think we've talked a lot about the visuals now. Cherry gives it a 9. Matty gives it a 9. Visuals, I would say an 8.5. It could have been a 9, but some parts I just wasn't entirely like on board with. It's not that it was bad. It's just that I felt like, oh, this is newish. This is different. This is, I don't know. And that kind of took me out of the story for just a moment. So 8.5 for visuals. Can I say something about the audio? I was thinking about this. The OST at the beginning of the episode was amazing, and then the OST in the last couple of scenes, like the last minute or something, when Yuji was talking in his head about stuff. It was an English song, and I felt like this is probably a lot of people are gonna like this, but I'm just not feeling it. I mean, I don't know if it was a bit. Do I have just like a bias against English in anime? I don't know. Maybe it could be that. But I like when Japanese bands have English words and phrases. But this felt to me like it was an English song, and I didn't like it. It made me feel like, oh yeah, I'm watching a show and they chose this song. Whereas for the most part of the episode, I felt like in the show, like I was absorbed in the show, and that kind of made me feel like, I don't know, I didn't like that last song that much. But the voice acting was very good. Nanami's VA is very good. Yuji's VA is good and was good in this episode. He didn't talk a lot, but small things make a difference. And Mahito's VA is truly encapsulates the crazy in his character. So Dark Shadow says 8.8 for me. There was something just lacking a bit in the fight with the audio and visuals. In the fight itself, I didn't notice the audio that much. I think I was distracted by the visuals a little bit, but the expressions were so good. So for audio for this episode, I'm going to give it an 8.4. The last song that they used left a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth, I have to be honest. Except in JoJo's. Well, JoJo's is, you can't compare JoJo's. JoJo's is a different story. JoJo's is JoJo's. How invested was I in this episode? I would say an 8.8. Characters, 9.5. I really liked that Yuji's character he did what needed to be done in that moment. And yes, it's not easy for him, but when it came down to it, he made a difficult decision, and in my opinion, it was the right decision. And I don't know how to explain it. It's just it's a really great. He's a really great character. And I mean, on top of Yuji and his decision and his whole, it wasn't really focused on, but it was a big, an impactful part for me. But on top of Yuji's great character and his development throughout up to this point, Nanami's character is also brilliant. Just the way that it was portrayed. Like, it didn't seem like he blamed anyone or anything. He just talked frankly and honestly. And it wasn't overdone or underdone. It was just, this is him and this is how he felt and this is what led to being where he is. And then he was like, no regrets. Honestly, I'm going to give characters 10. Characters, I'm going to give it a 9.9. The fact that I have to think about it that much, I can't give it a 10, but I'm going to give it a 9.9. And then story for this episode. It was a very conclusive episode. And the backstory was really nice. But to me, that backstory says more about... It was more about the character than the story. Like, I felt like it didn't have much to do with the main story. It had more to do with the character. So for story, I would give it an 8. And that gives us an overall 8.7. Characters are solid. Even the backstory side characters I like. Okay, let me just catch this red eyes. So that's an 8.7 total for today's episode. And if I add that... Huh? Huh? How do I... Comma... B131. There we go. So that means that my average score for the first course is 8.9, and I'm probably just going to round that up to a 9. A 9 out of 10 for the first course. For me, I kind of agree with you on English songs and anime, but for the OSTs in the start or the fight, and later in the fight covered the English OST for me. The reason I wanted you to wait to decide on the fights for the poll until after the stream is because I was gonna suggest Yuji and Nanami versus Mahito as a good choice for the poll. Yes. We might need to take a little break. We obviously have a lot of time tonight, and we're gonna watch 3 episodes of Assassination Classroom. But I do want to upload. I do want to talk about the best fights of the season, and yes, there are 1 or 2 fights in Jujutsu Kaisen, and this one including that we definitely need to add. But there's probably more. From Jujutsu Kaisen, it had some pretty good fights. Vert says, I call it an 8.5. Not saying I would change anything, but it ended with a bit of a thud since it seemed like something big was going to happen. Instead, it feels like we're sort of back where we started. I get that. I don't have the same feeling, but I understand what you mean. I feel like for me, this was a great course because we learned about this world. The character had some major growth. It wasn't big and in your face, but I feel like it was deep. Like there was definitely growth. And it set up the path for more growth. There were some freaking high moments. There were no low moments. There's not a single episode below. Let me just see here. 8.7, 9, 8.1, 8. Okay, so there's not a single episode below 8.1, I'm pretty sure. Yep. So I think that it left a very good impression on me. I'm very hyped for what's to come. The characters made a big impression on me. So yeah. The problem with a 9 out of 10 for a first course is that the second course needs to build on that. It needs to do even better. If it was an 8 first course, let's say an 8 out of 10 first course, the second course can easily top that. But now it's a 9, and it can't just be another 9. There has to be even bigger moments almost. So it can easily, a 9 first course can hurt the second course because the expectations are high, you know? High moments. Flashback to Gojo's eyes reaction. Hi, Fax. Overall, the show up until now, I would give a 9 out of 10. Everything is really good. The flow between episodes could do with a bit more slow pace, not hype stuff. Oh, I get what you're saying. I agree. Like a little bit, almost some slice of life scenes, not just jumping from the next big point from one big point to the next. I get what you're saying there. Like just a little smoother transition. It's a bit like this is happening now, and now it's done. And now this is happening now, and now that's done. And now this is happening, and now it's done. So I get what you're saying there. The classmates haven't had real development for me yet. Normally I wouldn't care, but a big point is how they miss him, but they barely knew him from what I saw. Just my opinion. Well, I think they just went through a lot together, like some serious stuff. Come on, catch the red ice. And I think you learn to be really close. And as far as I know, Megumi and Yuji stayed together like in the same dorm. But I get what you're saying. You want there to be more proof of their friendship and their development together, or like you want to understand why they feel so close to him and why they miss him so much. You want to see why. You don't just want to think, oh, that's probably why. You want to see.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Are you very tired? You look very tired.
Why? I'm so tired tonight.
Because you got up really early.
Yeah. Okay, so the plan.
Did you already catch yours?
Yes.
Okay, the plan.
The plan is tomorrow we leave at 7:30.
Make sure all the cats are inside.
Yes. We drop her at 8 or 8:10. We can only drop her off, we can't go in.
Okay.
Then we go straight to the shop. What up? It's your boy.
They would drop.
Tired Turtle.
Would you drop off your mom at the airport?
Yes.
Then go
Then
to
we
the
go
shop.
straight to the shop.
And then you go
in Umhlanga at the golfers club because I bought 2 pants, which is not the right size.
Okay, I don't need to know. You're gonna go to the shop.
Yes, and as soon as they open, we're gonna swap them. We're gonna get drinks or whatever, water for playing.
And then you play golf.
As soon as we can, we're gonna play
When
golf.
is Joey coming?
Tomorrow.
When?
Don't know.
Is he gonna? You
Probably
need to
in
talk
the
to him.
afternoon.
Okay. I'm not gonna go with because that's too early for me.
Yeah.
So I'll try and go play golf with you on another day. When?
Tuesday.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
28th and 30th.
Okay.
We can do 28th.
It's hot in here now because you opened the door that big and the aircon is on. You're wasting electricity.
28, 29, and 30. You guys heard her.
I said I would like to go play golfing with you.
No,
not that I commit to playing golfing with you.
I'm sure there's a clip. You guys heard her. She gonna come play.
I did not say that. I did not commit to anything. Remember, from February 2020, I'm taking 1 day a week off. I will be able to exercise with you more. My dad bought me shoes.
Exercise tekkies.
Exercise shoes to go.
Exercise in.
Exercise in. More. Okay. I'm going to now, Hanko, I need to finish my review and then I'm going to upload it and then I'll be done and then I can come talk.
Yeah, I'm just gonna sleep.
Are you gonna sleep now?
Yeah.
Okay, lekker slaap.
Okay.
I'll come say good night. Okay, sorry for all the interruptions today. Damn, it got hot so quickly. Any list. I'm just going to... I mean, actually, there's not much to say. Do you guys have any questions for me specifically about this episode, about the season? Ek sal wakker word. Ek sal wakker word. Ja, ek gaan moeg wees, maar ek sal wakker word as ek dit aan die baie sê. Okay. Ja, Anko met my
skets en sê, "Baie kyk."
Nee, Anko kan my net wakker maak, kan ek afkom en baie sê en kyk dat al die kaartjies binne is, want ek doen dit. En dan sal ek dit aan die baie sê. Ek sal wil saam kom, maar hulle gaan golf speel na die tyd.
Ja, nee, dit is.
En dan ek gaan nie golf speel nie. Okay, maar ek sal dan die môreoggend sien. Ek gaan sleg lyk, maar ek sal dan nie sien. Ek sal Anko met my bubblegum gee. Lekker slaap.
Okay, lekker slaap.
Bye-bye.
Dankie anyways vir alles.
Okay.
Ek weet jy gaan môre moet wees.
Okay, dis 'n plesier. Ons dan nie gaan gou weer kom kuier hopelik.
Ja, die.
Ja. Lekker slaap.
Kom ek langer.
Ja, kan ons meer doen.
Okay.
What does luck is love mean? I do not know. Here's my obligatory annoying manga panel reminder. Yes, so let's quickly do manga panels after I do this. Jujutsu Kaisen, episode 13. I'll keep it. It's already on a 9 out of 10 because I rounded it up, so I'm just going to keep it there. And then I'm going to put it on pause because paused until the 15th of Jan. So I'm going to put it on pause because I don't want it on my watching if I'm not watching it weekly. Saved. What does luck is love mean? Did I keep saying that? What did I say? Oh no, lack of slop. That's what that means. Some people I know complained that there wasn't a real storyline in Jujutsu Kaisen, like a main goal. Did you think so too? And if yes, does it bother you? No, main goals can get so, like, I mean, I love anime that have something like that. Like, I want to be the Pirate King, or I wanted this, or I want to be the Hokage, or I wanted this. But that's not how life is. We don't freaking R17 and then just decide, oh, for the rest of my life, this is what I want to do. And then you do that. He's a freaking kid and he just discovered this whole other world and he wants to figure out life and shit and death and whatnot. So, no, it did not bother me at all. There was always the story was always moving forward and that's the most important thing in my opinion. And there was growth. The characters had growth. It means sleep, like enjoy your sleep. The main goal is to get all the fingers and execute Yuji to kill Sukuna. Ah, there you go. There's your goal. I forgot about that. There's a goal. Tell that to those people you know. Okay, manga. I have 10 minutes. Did you post them? Yes. Okay. One is the cover. That is a huge cover. I've seen this before. I don't remember where, but I've definitely seen this before. It looks pretty cool. Them eyes are so damn pretty. Okay, next one. Whoa, these are big today. They're huge. They did this really well in the anime. In some parts, he looked a little bit misformed, but I think that it's technically a good thing because that's kind of his power, right? But I'm not talking now about this scene specifically. I just mean in general. Self-embodiment. I think it was the pick on Anila's. Self-embodiment of perfection. Crap. Right now, I feel grateful to you. And he was like, I don't need your gratitude. This was such a great Nanami scene. All I can think about is his backstory. You know, I thought like, wow, that's so well done. But work that's been alienated from the cycle of human life, like my job, earns more money for some reason. That's not right though, is it? You're bragging. No. This was actually so well done in the anime. Could you step forward, please? Whoosh. How are your shoulders now? This was also, I prefer this definitely in the anime because we almost, if I remember correctly, we saw it like she would see it and then, or just for a brief second, there was a pause, you know? There was like this is how she would see it, and then the thingy died. So I really liked how that felt. It's a small difference, but I think it made a big difference for me. Yeah. In the anime. I did these the same as every other week. Don't know why that's happening. I think all the Nanami scenes have been pretty great. For such a dry character, he really takes the spotlight. I agree. Gojo is a very handsome boy, very dynamic boy, and like he demands the spotlight in his moments. But Nanami is a more like he's the kind of character I want to spend time with. You know how in real life you see these people and they stand out and you're like, wow. But then sometimes there are other people that are more reserved, maybe not as in your face, and then you're like, this is the person I want to get to know. I feel like I still want to get to know Gojo, don't get me wrong. But yeah, Nanami is just a great character. For a side character, he's like, if Yuji is the main character, then Gojo is a supporting character. So then Nanami is like a supporting character. But I think actually Gojo is main. Like you get main, and then you get main, and then you get supporting, and then you get side. I personally prefer the manga because it looks like he hits it. It looks pretty cool with the... Okay. Already saw that one. Last one? Is this second to last? What? Right now, I feel grateful to you. Idol transfiguration. I have no regrets. Oh, look at that face. Oh. Keep your gratitude. I've received plenty already. I have no regrets. And that's true. seeing it like this and being reminded of the principal who said that there's never, that makes such a big difference actually. He's like, yeah, no Jujutsu sorcerers die without regrets. And then he's like, I have no regrets. Makes so much more of an impact when you remember that. Okay, and then here's some more. Okay, 4 more. I always forget you sent 8. Ooh. There wouldn't be a second time. This is actually, I have to say, I kind of prefer this in the manga, the black and white. Wow. I love this guy's art style. It feels so... I don't know. I really like it though. It feels so like it's done with a Koki pen, and it's almost like he does it, and then he's not so detailed, and like, you obviously sometimes detail is better for certain manga, but this is just so different. Like these lines, they're so dynamic. They give a lot of character to the characters. A lot of feeling to it. Okay. The first thing I thought when I saw of this was, yo, Brooke. Hello, Brooke. How are you? Sukuna. I'm so sad he won. I don't think he deserves to win Villain of the Year. But that's just me. I just don't think he's done enough. We haven't seen enough from him. But I get that they tell you, oh, he's the king of curses. But I feel like we've seen so much more from Mahito, and I really wanted him to be the winner. But okay, it's okay. The viewers have spoken. After all, you are now a Jujutsu sorcerer. For that reason, I don't acknowledge you as a Jujutsu sorcerer. Oh, it's like a throwback. So he now recognizes him as a Jujutsu sorcerer. Oh, look at his eyes. I'm sad they cut this short, the flashback. Yes, I would have loved to see this again. I really would have. But sometimes it's not as easy in the anime to include just a little throwback like this. In the manga, it's so much easier because I would literally go back to those pages. Yeah. An extra on the chapter, Junpei died. Junpei Yoshino, 17 years old. Junpei started a film appreciation club with 2 of his friends during his first year of high school. The clubroom became a spot for Ito and his friends to hang out. Since he was the only one to defend the club, he became a target for bullies. The club disbanded and he gradually lost touch with his friends. He stopped going to school by his 2nd year. I think he could have shown more of his good side if I had drawn these scenes. Since his fate was decided from the beginning, the story was influenced by that, and I ended up mostly depicting his troubled side. Sorry, Yoshino. He's probably a fan of the Scary Movie franchise. So by his fate was decided from the beginning, does that mean as an author, as the creator of the story, he knew how Yuji was going to end up? He knew that Yuji was going to die. Not like in the story, like in his world, he was always going to end up. Like, because that's a whole other philosophical discussion about fate and free will and whatnot. I think he means here, as the creator of the story, he knew that Junpei was going to die at X point. So the rest of the story was written with that in mind. So they didn't really have a lot of time to waste on getting to know him and da-da-da-da-da. Even though that would have been nice too, you know. They could have found a way to do that, but then the show would have, the story would have been different. Also, Matty, by the way, thank you for that raid. Now I have a rage ice. Yes. Junpei was pretty good. I was really looking forward to more jellyfish fighting powers. Yeah, he wasn't just some throwaway character. There was really a lot of potential in his, like, like I said, oh, what could have been, you know? So. Yeah, the mangaka knew and they regret not showing more happy scenes with him. Well, at least, you know, he can do something like this. And there will be people writing fan fiction and creating fan art. So I think, like, even though he wasn't able to show it in the story. Hey, don't bite! No, don't bite Mikasa's sword. She was biting Mikasa's sword. Look, she just went and lied down. Like, I did nothing wrong. What are you talking about? Bite the toy. Don't bite my freaking figure. Jeez. Move Snorlax. I will. I need to make time to do that. I'll do it soon. Okay, but for now, I'm going to quickly end the stream and the video. I'm going to go down, upload the video and stuff, the reaction and the review. Then I'm going to go downstairs, grab a drink, and I'm going to come back. Then we're going to post the video to YouTube. And then we're going to watch some Assassination Classroom. This is Shadow. She's Shadow. Fuck mojito. Yeah, I drink mojito for sometimes. So he's a pushover. Nah, that didn't work out. I wanted to do a whole thing like, I eat mojito for breakfast. But then I tried to make it because it's a drink, not a breakfast. And then it just failed, so. Anyway. See you guys for more Jujutsu Kaisen on the 15th. And to those of you in the stream, see some of you again for Ask Class in about 15 minutes. Okay. Bye.